Today on Cooking for Real, we are going to braise some greens. I got involved in a crop share and ended up with some things that I've never heard of before. But they're braising greens, and we're going to start here. I have kohlrabi greens, which I did grate the kohlrabi, and I have something called tot soy, and this lovely spigarelli, which I'm told is almost a broccoli kale mix, but without being hairy. But first things first, what we're going to do is take a picture of my cutting board because I wasn't ready. We're going to roughly chop this onion. Five pieces of bacon that I'm just cutting it up into manageable chunks. I wish that you could see all of the truly silly things I do to get a shot. I can't actually get my overhead shot like I normally do because my phone is charging and the weight distribution is bad. So it's sort of a sideways angle into the pot. I have this at medium high, and here's my bacon going in. This bacon is halfway done, and since we actually need a lot of the grease to flavor the greens, we're actually going to add in our onions now. Or I just use the phone, not the last onion off the plate. So let's get these cooking in here with this bacon. So while the bacon cooks down, what we're actually going to do is start preparing these leaves. What we're going to do is actually cut the veins out of all of the leaves. Now, I've never worked with tot soy before, but I'm pretty sure I can cook it just like this, that I don't have to cut you know what, let's try it. The best way to know if something tastes bad is to taste it. It tastes quite like celery. I'm going to leave it as is. I actually have a trick for cutting these out. I'm sure that people do this too, but I fold it in half and then just cut on the leaf side of the stem, and away you go. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking some of these leaves and putting them in a pile all together, and we're doing a very rough cut. So you see I have pieces, because this actually shrinks up just like spinach when you cook it. Look, this actually has little, almost like broccoli trees on it. And that would be the spigarelli, which I'm most likely saying wrong. And somebody can go ahead in the comments and tell me how to say that right. Just grab a bunch, roll it like a cigar, loosely, and cut, 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 in the bowl it goes. And it's funny because there's 3 different kinds of greens in here, and every time I cut it, it's a different wave of scent that comes up. Ooh, stem in the trash bag for you. When it gets down to the last little bits, I don't know if you saw that I made like a sausage or cigar, and then I folded it in half. And I only did that because the little ends kind of just fly away. And I'm saving this little tot soy leaf for my baby chicks in the other room. I'm going to give them a treat. So now you can see there's a lot of browning going on in here. The onions are browning. The bacon is browning. And I'm about to dump my roughly chopped greens in. Sorry. And we're going to move that turn this down to medium-low. Now, a lot of people use ham hocks to do this. I'm using bacon because it is the fatty pork that I have available. Now, what Valerie Bertinelli said is the reason that you turn these is that the heat from the ones that have been closer to the burner will now be on the top and help to cook the greens evenly. And as you can see, these have already brightened up greatly in color. It around a bit so you can see there's the onions with lovely brown edges on it, the bacon, and all of those greens. Again, it was spigariello, tot soy, and radicchio greens. Those are nice and soft now. My next step is actually going to be to add a cup of vegetable broth. Now, I did do this from a Knorr base, so I had to make it. I was out of vegetable broth from homemade. This actually looks really nice and rich. Now, it's not going to cover these greens. This is a braise, it's not a boil. Again, we lowered that temperature down to medium-low. Quite frankly, it's pretty much on low. And let's see here. We're not looking to boil it. Not looking to boil it at all. This will sit here and simmer or braise, as the case may be. Oh, see, if you drop one on the burner, that happens. Don't drop one on the burner. We're going to put the lid on and just let that be for an hour, hour and a half. And it's actually going with dinner. It's in the oven, which is a nice pork tenderloin roast. So I'm going to clean up here, and we're going to let this thing happen, and we'll come back and check on it in a little bit. But these are about halfway done, and you can see that most of the liquid has cooked away, and the bacon is even starting to brown, and anything of a stem is actually breaking down. Let's see. The onions have not quite caramelized, but they will, and I can't wait to try this dish. Okay, it's been a total of an hour, and I'm actually calling these done. Look at these beauties. Very nicely reduced. There's no fluid left in here. Even the bacon is crisp. This is going to be a delicious side dish to go with that lovely pork roast over there, and some mashed potatoes. Great side dish for a Sunday dinner. So I would like to say that I got a picture of that for you on the plate, but the fellas came in awful hungry and pretty much dinner was gone. So it is a hit. It was delicious. Everybody loved it, oohed and awed over it. You should definitely try it. It's actually really simple. Thank you for dropping by for Cooking for Real today. I hope you enjoy the braised greens. They make a great side dish, very summery, full of vitamin C, and you know, who doesn't like bacon? But don't forget that a lot of people cook ham hocks in it, and quite honestly, you make it the same way, but it does take a little longer to cook that ham hock all the way through. You know what you do? You take it out, you peel off the fat, chop up the meat, throw it right back in the greens. Using the bacon cuts down on a lot of the work. So thank you for stopping in today. Don't forget to like, to subscribe. Feel free to comment. I would love to answer any questions or just see what you thought of the recipe. Oh, and please share.